Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today, we are thinking about creating respect all around you. This is a thinker and something that we really need to take into consideration. So, luckily, I have Sabrina here. I had to bring her back. We had developed a great relationship after our first time having her on my show, talking about Oh So Safe, and now really diving in and talking about creating that respectful space around you, which really just makes it keen and dive into the her movements. You know what I mean? Her whole points, her whole agenda, what she has embodied from her soul out. And this is the reason why we really need to take this into consideration and really think about this in a whole new way. So Sabrina, thank you so much for coming back on my show and sharing this time with me. Let's just dive right in. When you hear those words, creating respect all around you, what does that make you think about?
Thank you so much, Mitzi. Oh, you're so great. You're such a great host. It's a pleasure to be here with you again. You're such a great person, a great host. And I love the title that you gave the show, our show together. Yes, respect to us at Oh So Safe is the opposite of abuse, violence, chaos, dysfunction. It's about practicing um, positivity, empowerment, encouragement, freedom, choice. So all of those components make for respect. And someone that is truly free, uh, that it's a two-way street. Like if I am free to hurt you, well, that's not freedom because I'm taking away your freedom to be free yourself. So freedom is a two-way street. So respect is about honoring someone's boundaries, whatever they may be, and you get to reciprocate that respect. And it's a two-way street. So I hope I gave a good summation of respect all around. And also like to be the key thing is to be respectful in the home.
Mm-hmm.
If we are respectful at home, then everything else will fall into place. And I may have said this at the first interview a number of years ago on your show. Um, then schools will be safe, universities will be safe, public places will be safe, our stores, malls will be safe. Everything starts in the home. Everything. Your workplaces will be safe. So if we make home safe, then everything else will fall into place.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's the reason why this topic is so needed for us to really talk about so that others people can really consider because it really does start in the home because when you are growing up a child or when you have this child that's so innocent and its mind is like a sponge, it's going to absorb in everything that it thinks is right and wrong. And it starts at the home because that is where they are primarily for a good amount of years before they start going into schools and even being in school, it takes time. So it's just like if we start that foundation in the home, reminding them that to be respectful, have that freedom of knowing their choice and having that power and to start thinking consciously, critically, you know what I mean, intentionally, you know what I mean, then we can really start reminding people that they have a power in their choices. And like you said, it's a two-way street. We all have these power in our choices. So wouldn't you want to make the right choice for in that power in that moment? Because just as our choices can uplift people and bring goodness around us, so can our words, so can our actions, so can our environment. So the fact that you were like our schools can be better, our workplace can be better, you know what I mean? Public places in general can be better. Oh my goodness, I think that holds so much value because people do not realize that we want to walk out into the world knowing that I'm not going to get shot at. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get stabbed at. I'm not going to be assaulted in any way. You know what I mean? I want to walk out there and realize that I can go to my destination and come back home safely and soundly. And nowadays we don't even have that understanding. We don't even have that confidence to even send our children to school and know that they're going to come home safely and soundly. You know what I mean? And that's the real thing where it's like if we think about respect differently, then we think about our lives differently. You know what I mean? So it's just like what is some ways that people can start understanding some of the misconceptions about respect so that they can think about it differently.
Yes, I love how you put it all together and you really understand what we're all about and the foundation of it. So I really appreciate that so much. Uh, we feel at Also Safe that it is indeed a practice. So, and we put it has to be a practice, especially if you come from violence. Because
Hmm.
if you don't have that background where I've had podcast hosts, and I'm so grateful for them, where they tell me, Sabrina, I never had any violence in my home. I don't even know really what that is. I experienced some racism, some bigotry at school, but at home, it was such a safe place. And I'm so grateful because that means that it can be done. People are doing it, families are doing it. This isn't something stupid or silly or idealistic. It can be done. People are doing it. I see it on the social media so much where families are really trying hard to understand their kids. They're trying hard to really not repeat the same mistakes as their abusive parents. And there's so many, the tired dad, some of the handles, Mama G, MOM.MA.G, parents together. There's so many, and they're really consciously parenting, not just repeating the same mistakes. Well, you made me hit you. You made me humiliate you in the
Yeah.
store. I told you you can't have that toy, and you were screaming and yelling. You had a tantrum, and I had to beat you. Oh my God. No, you didn't. You talked about choice, Mitzi. You didn't. If you children, at Also Safe, we really give voice and choice to kids. Like they're at the core of what we do at Also Safe. That's why we did the children's book. It's a staple in all Also Safe certified properties. It lays the foundation. We explain the difference between abuse and non-abuse, respect and disrespect. So with respect, there's no fear, there's no judgment, there's no it is absent of any control, manipulation, domination. So you're free to make mistakes. And you know that when you say to mom and dad, I messed up, I messed up, mom and dad, they're not going to beat you. They're not going to humiliate you. They're not going to verbally, physically, sexually abuse you. There's an understanding there, like, okay, you made a mistake. This is where you went wrong. And so now there is opportunity to fix it, to
Yeah.
make it better, to practice this. And like some of the things that we feel that is really important, especially in any household, give someone their space
Hmm.
when they don't want to talk, when they're really upset. You come home from work, and or maybe your home is work, maybe you work from home. You have to have that space. And at Also Safe, we encourage, have these meetings with your family and say, look, I need 10 minutes when I get home. I need a half hour. I'm going to lock myself in the bathroom, and please go in the bathroom now if there's only one bathroom in the house, because I need that half hour to myself to really decompress. So that way it's exercising respect for yourself and respect for
Hmm.
your kids,
I
your
love that.
partner, whether you're married or not married, it doesn't matter. Whoever your home, whatever your home environment is. And that makes for a good household because you're giving each other space. Even the kids need space. In fact, we encourage families, look, when the kids come home, let them run around, let them healthy scream, let them throw balloons around, or maybe even pop some balloons. And that way they can really decompress. So that way it gets out. You get to vent. You get to really get it all out. And that way you can
Yeah, exactly.
be,
Yeah,
you
I love
know?
that. I love that because it is a misconception to think not the communication doesn't always have to be so honest, but in reality it does. You know what I mean? There's always that misconception that you talked about, letting the kids just do what letting the kids decompose as if they don't need to. Like let's be honest, kids suffer from mental health issues as well. Their mental health is a priority as well. And I'm glad that you talked about that because that's a misconception that people don't really consider. You know what I mean? Because it's all about me, me, me. I'm the provider. I'm the adult. I'm the have to deal with the stresses. But in reality, the kid has those issues as well. And when we take them into consideration and we acknowledge that, yes, my child has had a rough day too, he needs to decompose. Everyone needs to decompose. You know what I mean? And I think that's a great misconception that people forget about is that we need to decompose. We need to shut it down. We need to rewind. We need to reboot. We need to just press that reset button just so that we can go on to the next section of our life or our day in a manner that doesn't hurt you, doesn't hurt me, that I'm able to be present, I'm able to be aware, and I'm able to let go of whatever that just happened a few moments ago. You know what I mean? So, yes, I think that's so valuable because when we allow ourselves that time, that space for ourselves, then we are able to be gracious for somebody else. So it's like we can have a meeting as soon as we come home, everybody separates and does their own things. Everyone takes that 10 minutes, 20 minutes to decompose, lay down, scream, wiggle, dance, whatever that you need to do just to get that negative energy out of you, just to let it process through you. And then in 20 minutes, as soon as that alarm hits, everybody come back together and we're gonna love each other and we're gonna go about our day. We're gonna get dinner together and we're gonna finish our day in a positive way so that we can continue on. I love that because I think when we allow that to be in play in our home, then we will have more understanding, like you were talking about. That understanding is so important because if you understand mom is stressed out, she's just a little frazzled, she had a rough day at work, but she's not always like this, then you're like, okay, let's give mom her break. Let's make sure she has her tea, that she has her coffee, that she has whatever that she likes, that she enjoys. You know what I mean? And creating that safe space because if you know if you could do it for your mom, you know your mom's gonna do it for you. You know what I mean? It's like when you're sick, and when you're sick, you just need that little comfort time to just get reboot and then you're ready to keep going again. And I think that's a great way to people to really think about it is that we all need that safe space to really come back to reality and it just takes time, you know what I mean? And we all are going through different things in different parts of the world, so it's just like make it work for you, you know what I mean? But just owning that space. So I guess I have to ask, how can people gain more courage and really step into that step on fear when it starts to approach?
Yes. When you say fear, meaning just like day to day, or if you're like in an abusive relationship, or any either.
Any either, yeah.
Okay, okay, great, great. You're so great, Mitzi. You're so great. Uh, yes. This is something that I've been practicing myself because I am a survivor of violence. My father beat my mother on a regular basis, and my mother would beat me. So I know firsthand how traumatic that is. So this is fairly not new and new. Uh,
Okay.
and I know it may sound cliche, but it works. It works. Breathing. You know, when
Mm,
you get that fear, whether it be, oh my gosh, I have a deadline. I forgot I did A, B, and C, but I forgot D, E, and F. Oh my gosh, and the deadline is today. Or my kid's project. Uh, damn, I forgot about the costume, or this had to get done, and then you go into panic mode and you make a wrong turn, or your kid spills milk and that was the last clean clothes that they had, and now you have to get them off to school. Really take that as a signal that you have to pause. You have
yeah.
to stop. You have to breathe. And when I say breathe, I mean really breathe, not like you and I are breathing right now, but I'm talking about conscious breathing. And and thank you so much for saying before we interviewed that you bought our book. That is such an honor. In the book, we go over breathing, deep breathing, where we're teaching kids once the fighting stops, go to a safe space in the house, in the apartment, safe at that moment, and breathe deep. So you take it all in, breathe, and then hold it at the top,
Yeah.
and then let it all out. And do that several times. Your shoulders are going to come down. You're going to feel like your brain really released. You're going to feel your heart slowing down. You're going to feel like you're grounded.
Hmm.
So, so the things that just happened, the milk spilling, oh my gosh, you just made a wrong turn. You forgot this part of the project. It grounds you, and you only think about the present moment. And in that present moment, you realize you're safe
Yeah.
right now. Right now. Don't think about the past. Don't think about the future. And like I said, this is a practice. I have to remind myself to do this. And then you can get to a solution quicker, or you think, you know what? It's really not a problem. Instead of going right, I'll just go left. It's fine. Little Timmy, little Sally, just take whatever is in the hamper, the least dirty, put that on, and we'll do a load of laundry when you get back. No problem. So now, if it's obviously more complicated, you're in an abusive relationship, you are in urgent mode 24/7. So this is harder, much, much harder. Obviously, it's the worst. It's the worst. Again, breathing, doing that breathing where it anchors you to the present moment. And in that moment, maybe you think, oh my gosh, I could call a friend, although you probably don't have friends because you're isolated, right? Maybe you can call a therapist. Maybe you could go to the neighbor next door. Maybe you could just take a walk with your phone and go to the police and say, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm going to get him or her out. I'm going to do the oh so safe thing and get my abuser out of my life once and for all. So that breathing really grounds you. That's one thing. Another thing is also, it goes back to just venting, getting things out. But having a good therapist, we feel helps out a lot. It's somebody on your team, somebody that is an ally for you. Um, and that good therapist, and when I say a good therapist, somebody that is a good fit. Not all therapists are created equal, so you may have to try on a few for size. Let that be okay. Don't get upset if, oh my gosh, yeah, I heard this woman on Oh So Safe on the Mitzi Ocasio podcast, and she said find a therapist, but I tried 2 times and they weren't good. Don't let that discourage you. Maybe it'll take 3, 4, 5 times. Let that be okay. And just that phrase, let it be okay. Just let it be okay. Like I said, you made the wrong turn. My gosh, how could I not see the warning signs? He's dangerous. She's dangerous. I'm so stupid. Let it be okay. You're going to
Yes.
find a solution. Go ahead.
No, I love that. I love that. I just want to say, let it be okay is the best phrase that people can really sink in because I agree. I think the breathing is such a good way to ground you because it helps you think in a more conscientious mindset and it helps you think of like, okay, you're a problem solver. You know what I mean? Okay, this is a problem, but now I can solve it. Now I can remind myself where I'm at. Now I can be present and be active. So I love the example examples that you gave, you know what I mean? Just breathing, taking it in and counting down, you know what I mean? I thought that was a great add-on to the book because it's like an activity, you know what I mean? You can really be proactive in the moment. You may not be able to save that child, but you be able to give them that skill set so that they can save themselves. You know what I mean? Instead of giving a kid a fish, you taught him how to fish. You know what I mean? So that he can continue to eat. So that right there brings so much value when you are able to just teach somebody just how to breathe, how to conscientiously breathe for in the moment, because it really does make things so much more real or whatever the situation might be, even in a toxic relationship. Even when I had my toxic relationships and I just wanted to just react in the moment, it saves you by having that moment from breathing because you will end up reacting out of character trying to do something that you shouldn't be doing anyways. You know what I mean? Or you will retaliate in a manner that doesn't make you any better than the abuser itself. You know what I mean? So it makes you realize that you matter, your heart matters, your soul matters, your well-being matters, all that you are matters by just taking that moment to breathe and remember that it will be okay. Like, let it all be okay. It will work itself out eventually. Just keep moving in a manner that brings you the grace to keep going. And I think that's the beauty of your book, of your mission, of your business, because it reminds people that it's okay. You are seen, you are heard, you are valued, and whatever that you need, you can count on me and I will be your backbone. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't trust a therapist, if you don't trust that you don't have that circle around you and you're isolated, at least you know you have also safe Sabrina here who's going to be able to provide you that outlet, provide you those resources, provide you whatever type of information or just that moment of clarity that you need to know that you are seen and you are heard and you are valuable. And because sometimes just to get out of a toxic relationship or a toxic situation, just knowing that somebody's there and sees you as a human being and not some like meat that's sold to the pond to the market. You know what I mean? You are able to find value in who you are and you stand up and you get this energy to keep going in life, because I know life can sometimes feel like, oh, what's the even point of keep going? And especially if you're knocked down over and over and over again, it can really feel like, what's the point? And that suicidal ideation really creeps in real fast. So it's like having somebody in your corner like Sabrina is so worth it. You know what I mean? And time is catching up to us, and I'm sad because I feel like I could keep talking to you forever, Sabrina. I love talking to you. But what can be some lasting words that you can leave us off with to keep on thinking?
Yes, oh, you're so great, Mitzi. You're so encouraging. My goodness, you're so awesome. Uh, I want to say to you and to your audience, to your listeners, um, that you deserve to be in a good relationship. So, at all costs. So, even if it means that you have to be alone for a while, that's a relationship. That's a good
Yes.
relationship. Be alone for a while. It's good for you, good for your children. I also want to say that just because you are a parent, it doesn't give you the right to abuse your kids. All the kids that are listening in on your podcast, as your audience, speak out, kids, as best as you can. If you have somebody that's willing to take you in, you're not safe at home. Mom, dad, stepmom, stepdad are dangerous, but you got an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, a close family friend that's willing to take you in. Speak out. You call 911. You call the police and say, I want to go to auntie or uncle or grandma, grandpa. I feel safe with them, and stand your ground because you have that right. And we believe you at Oh So Safe. We believe you. And I want to say that this is a practice, respect, that this is a practice. We've been saying this throughout the interview. It goes both ways, and we're working as fast as we can to get every single home Oh So Safe.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And I think that's so, it holds so much value that everyone deserves to be in a good relationship, even with yourself. Oh my goodness, that right there speaks so much volume because sometimes people don't even have that. They don't even have a good relationship with themselves. They're toxic to themselves. You know what I mean? They're mean to themselves. They abuse themselves. They mistreat themselves. And it's like, You don't deserve that. And whoever's telling you that you deserve little, you don't deserve this, all those naysayers, wash it out of your ears. Let it go because in reality, you deserve so much. You deserve life. And that's what you're given. And that's what you're granted. And every day is truly a present. It's truly a gift to just embody in. You know what I mean? So it's just like you deserve at least to have that self-respect, that self-love, that self-consideration, admiration. Goodness, you deserve it all, but it's like accepting that and stepping into that and embodying it to all that you are. And yes, and ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know more about Sabrina after this conversation, because how could you not? Go check her out. Go check out her website. Go check out all the great content, all the great videos, all the great information that she has available just so that you can continue on thinking. And her children's books. Oh, Lordy, yes, ladies and gentlemen, go check out her children's books. I have it on my website. It's already there under the book recommendations, ready for you to just click on and purchase so that you can continue on thinking. But she made it accessible, making it available for so many people to make it easy to purchase, just so that you can continue on on thinking. You can gift it to your family members, gift it to a school, gift it to anybody that you know needs to embody this also safe mindset because everyone deserves to have respect and love in their own home. So with that being said, bye.